Hello friends, my name's Angel. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited for today's video, and today we're going to be doing a kind of fun one because we're going to be going over all the series I'm in the middle of currently. I have my laptop here, my spreadsheet out, so we're going to get into it. For reference, we're doing this video kind of as a check-in because I made this video back in November, I feel like, of all the series I was currently in the middle of. And in there I went over series that I was in the middle of, ones I didn't know I was going to finish, ones that I hadn't started but I want to do, and kind of be the update of that video, I guess. If you guys didn't know, a goal of mine for 2024 was to finish off series I was in the middle of, and I've actually done a really decent job of doing that so far, but I've also just added just as many series, if not more, than I've eliminated. Before I even show you guys the spreadsheet, I don't want to give credit where credit is due, so the spreadsheet's with lovely Miss Macy May. She has bookish content on here, and I was watching one of her more recent videos about her trying to finish off series she was in the middle of, and she's using this spreadsheet that she made, and she linked it, and she gave it as a free template to people in her comment section, like how she tracked her series, and I ended up using it, and I am really enjoying it so far. We'll kind of see how it works, but so that's what I've used to kind of put all my series in and track them, so we'll give her some love. She's incredible. I think what I'll just show you guys is I'll probably just screen record my screen and show you guys, probably. Okay, so I've actually, funny story, I've never screen recorded on my Mac, but I believe this is screen recording. If it's not, I might cry later. I'm making this whole thing bounce. I'm pretty sure this area here goes over the series that I'm in progress of, so you can see I'm in the progress of 10 series. I've completed 9, I'm up to 2, and I've not started 15. That's where the bulk of this is coming from. My series are mostly fantasy series. As you can tell, I'm a fantasy girl through and through, but so I have 28 fantasy series and 8 romance series. 36 series total, but I have 24 still to finish. So I sorted these down here. So you can see, you can look across the entire thing. So this is a completed series. So if you look at Shades of Magic, that is a fantasy series. It's completed, which means there's no more books being released in that series. And I have completed it. It's 3 books in length. I've read 3 books. There's 0 books left in the series. Cool, kind of takes through all those. If you look, I have all those completed ones, I have all the in progress ones, the not started ones, and then the ones I'm up to date on, but there's ongoing. So I think I'm gonna show this the entire video. I think I'm more so talk through it, but I'm gonna use this as my reference. If I'm looking over, it's because I'm looking at my laptop. You're probably like, Angel, that's a lot of series, and you're absolutely not wrong, but I feel like they all kind of serve their purpose, and I'm excited about all of them, so it's okay. So once I've completed this year, I've completed 9 series already so far this year. I actually think is really good because we're 3 months in and I've completed 9 series. So romance series I completed this year. I finished the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher. That's the F1 racing books. I finished all 4 of those. I did finish the Eden series. I'd only read the first book before, last year, and I only read the last 5 books in the series all in the month of February during my reading 29 books in 29 days challenge. So I crossed that one off my list. I finished Gold Rush Ranch because I was wanting to finish that up before Elsie's new release in April, which made me just realize I'm gonna put a new series in this list. This is gonna be 37 series, but it's okay. Finish off that one. That's her one that kind of gets interlinked with Chestnut Springs as well, and it was written beforehand. I did finish off Shades of Magic, which is exciting because I can move into V. Schwab's other works. It's kind of waiting to finish that to start the new ones. I finished off Letters of Enchantment, and that's Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. I finished off that duology. At first, I was like, oh, I'm gonna read Ruthless Vows the day it comes out. I didn't. I waited 2 months to read it. I couldn't do it right away. I finished off the King of Scars duology, which is really actually exciting, so that means the Grishaverse is completely checked off for me. I have them all read now. I finished the Moral Instruments and the Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare, and that's the first 2 series in her huge Shadowhunters world. So the Moral Instruments is the 6th book first series, and then Infernal Devices is one of the trilogies. I read it, when I was looking at recommended reading orders, it was said to read the first 3 Moral Instruments, then the Infernal Devices, then the last 3 Moral Instruments, so that's what I did. I was finished off Once Upon a Broken Heart. I read that last book a couple months ago now, and I finished that off the list. So we're up to date with Stephanie Garber, and I'm kind of tweaking because I want more books by her. Okay, we're gonna do the up-to-date books next, because in my eyes, I'm kind of finished those series, because it's not like there's anything else I can read out right now. I'm waiting, so I've done good. I've done my part. I haven't Tangled with Fae here. I'm clearly not sure if it should be, but there's 5 books out, and I've read all 5, but Sandra Hodette has said that she's going to create more retellings probably by 2025, so I'm guessing that'd be part of this series. She kind of hinted at some ones she would like to do, so I know there's gonna be more coming in this series eventually, but so I do have that there for now. And then the next one I have is Lakefront Billionaires. So that's the first book was Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. I read that one. I think the second book is Love Unwritten, I think, is when it's coming out sometime this summer. So we're doing those. I definitely should add Elsie Silver's new series in here though, because the first book comes out literally this week, and then the next book already has a release date in November, I think. So the girl's on it. She's making it happen for us. Time to go through my in progress series, because these series I'm actively in the middle of, and I'm gonna make it fun and say why I haven't finished them, or what's the reasoning, to try to rationalize it to myself, make it seem okay. So the first is The Poppy War. I'm in progress on that. There's 3 books in the series, and I've read 2 of them. I'm avoiding the last book like the plague because I'm terrified of it. like actually sick thinking about reading it. Sounds being put on hold. It is my TBR cart. I have the audiobook of it. I'm ready to go. I just am not mentally ready to go, you know? Dreamland Billionaires by Lauren Asher. There's 3 books. I've read 2 of them. I only have to read The Final Offer, which is the very last book. This series was in my last video and I was at the exact same spot, just having to read that last book. It's because I haven't been able to pick it up yet, because why is it 600 pages? Why is a romance 600 pages? You know, like truthfully, like I don't think I enjoyed the first 2 enough. Like if I had loved the first 2 and then there was a 600-page last book, that'd be fine. But they were like, okay, like I think they rated them like a 3.5 kind of for both of them. So I'm not like obsessed with the characters enough to rationalize a 600-page romance book. I'm gonna read it because I'm stubborn to a fault and I'm like almost there. Like I'm like, you have 1 book left, just read it. So it is gonna get read, just I have no idea when. No idea when. Next up, Red Rising. This one's actually an interesting one. There's 6 books in the series, I believe, and I've only read 1 of them. I read the first Red Rising book a couple months ago, and truthfully, the problem with Red Rising, I feel like truthfully, it's been enough time now where if I were to continue off that series, I would have to reread Red Rising to fully understand it. Because I feel like if I tried reading the second book right now, I'd be totally lost. Because there's some things that I forget, but I do have the audiobook of the first and second out from Audible, because for some reason Audible, when you had Audible Premium, they randomly had a bunch of books that were free the past couple months, and randomly in the Red Rising series, they put the first, second, and like 5th for free, I think, on Audible. I was like, okay, so I picked them up. So I do have them. I just also don't know when I'm gonna get to reading them. So then I have Blood and Ash. This one's funny. So there's 6 books in the series currently. She might keep going, who knows? That girl just keeps pumping these out. I've only read 1 of them. And the problem is, I actually enjoyed the first book. I think I rated it like a 4-star, but same thing, it's been enough time now where I would have to probably reread them. But I swear, when I looked it up the other day, I think these are free, or at least the first one's free on Kobo Plus, I'm pretty sure. And then all the other ones are pretty cheap on Kobo. They're like $6, I think, when normally like books on like e-readers can still be up to like $12 to $16 when they're like more popular titles. I think I'm just gonna put this one off because I've heard such like mixed reviews about how it ends. And I've heard like, oh, the second book's still like pretty good, but then like the third book is like insufferably bad. And I'm like, do I want to do that? Because the thing is, I feel like right now I'm not in deep enough, but if I read the second book, I feel like I'm in deep enough where I'll have to read the whole series, like mentally, you know? So this one might get finished, it might not, who knows? Fire the Night, that's a YA fantasy trilogy. So there's 3 books, I've read 2 of them, I just read the last book. Pretty much, I was up to date and I was just waiting for that last book to release, and then it did come out, but it's only out in hardcover. It doesn't mean I don't read hardcovers. And so I believe I'm on the wait list for it on Libby. I'm just waiting for it to come out so I can read it there because I'm not paying for a hardcover. No. The Addicted series, this is by Kristen Beck Ritchie. There's currently 10 books in the series and I've read 2. This is because I only started reading this like literally last month. And actually, fun fact, as I'm filming this, I'm reading the 3rd book actively right now. I am enjoying this one. This is more such a fact of like, this one is a marathon. This is not a sprint. You know, like this one's like, we're slowly making our way through. You feel? I'll get there. It's just like, I literally just started. Give me a second. And I have War of Lost Hearts. This is the trilogy by Carissa Broadbent, the one that she wrote before The Serpent and the Wings of Night. That one I actually really am enjoying. There's 3 books in it and I've only read 1. I do own the other 2. I just haven't gotten to them yet. I read the first one last month, I believe. And so they are on Kindle Unlimited, so I'll probably end up like picking them up when I want like a KU book, but they just haven't had their time to shine yet. You know, it's okay. The Atlas 6, I just read the first book literally like 2 weeks ago and I'm obsessed with it. So that's a trilogy. I've read 1 book and there's 3 out in the series. So I have to read the Atlas Paradox and the Atlas Complex. The Atlas Paradox I do own and I am reading this month, but the Atlas Complex, I will be waiting for it to come available on Libby to read it, just because same kind of thing, it's a hardcover. I don't own a hardcover. And I think the wait time on Libby was like 9 weeks, so it's not crazy bad. It's still gonna take a little bit of time. But I've been pretty lucky lately with Libby about getting some skip the line loans and getting them like for 7 days earlier, or even just like have people return them early and not having to wait the full time. And then we have The Prison Healer. That's a YA fantasy trilogy. There's 3 books. I've read 2. Once again, I'm reading the last book later this week. It's my TBR. Some will be checked off to complete soon. My camera's in like a very weird spot right now and it keeps sliding, so I'm so sorry if the angle keeps changing. I'm so sorry. Finally, we have the Alex Stern duology, and that is Ninth House and Hellbent. If you guys know, I read Ninth House last month. I rated it at 5 stars. I'm reading Hellbent this month. Don't worry, we'll get crossed off here. Because I also have the ebook and the audiobook out from Libby. It's like I am stacked. I have the physical copy, e-copy, and audio. This book will be getting read. And now we're moving into our fun section of not started but want to start. And all of these, I either have like the first book purchased or I have them all, or I'm set in my head that I'm reading these, okay? First series, actually, as I just said that, I might not fully read, we'll see, is the Flesh and Fire series. That's the one that's like the prequel series to From Blood and Ash. So I think this will kind of depend on if I actually get into Blood and Ash, but also everybody does say that this series is better. And so if I read the second book of From Blood and Ash and I don't really enjoy it, I'll just read this series instead. Maybe. Then we have the Villains Duology. I am actually starting that this month because I do have the first book, Vicious, on my TBR. This is by V.E. Schwab. I was just waiting to start this one until I finished off Shades of Magic. For some reason in my head, I don't like having multiple series going by the same author, if that makes sense. So I was waiting till I finished Shades of Magic to start the Villains Duology. And then we have the next two trilogies from Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunters universe. So the Dark Artifices and the Last Hours. Dark Artifices is getting started this month. It's on my TBR. Lady Midnight is the first book. Then we'll get started this month. Last Hours I won't start for a little bit because I think all these next books are like, they're all chonkers. Like I'm pretty sure the third book in like the Dark Artifices series is like 900 pages, I think. So this might take a while. Then we have Butcher and Blackbird. I do have the first book. I know the second book comes out in June, I believe. I haven't read the first book, but I think I actually might pick it up this month. I'm doing a 24-hour readathon. I think it might be a good fit for that potentially. So we'll be getting started soon. The Radiant Emperor duet. This is the She Who Became the Sun and He Who Drowned the World, I believe. I do own physical copies of both. I haven't pulled them for my TBR yet, but I believe I do have the audiobook out on Libby of She Who Became the Sun right now. So there's a chance that it'll actually get read this month and we get that ball rolling. I'm laughing. Magnolia Parks. Magnolia Parks I've not started, but I do own the first book. I did pull it for my TBR this month, so it will be read. I will start this. We'll see how I feel about the series because I know it's either very hit or miss. Like it's either your cup of tea or it's not. I've heard if you like Gossip Girl, you'll enjoy this, but I also had a very love-hate relationship with Gossip Girl because of the toxicity in it. So we'll see if this series is for me. And then we're getting into just two massive universes. So we do have 5 series on here that are kind of all part of the big Realm of the Elderlings universe by Robin Hobb. And so the first one is the Farseer trilogy, and that's obviously 3 books, and I will be starting that this month because I did pick the first book up, and it's on my TBR, so I will be reading that. But honestly, depending on how that goes, would depend if I read these other 4 series. You know, because if it's not my cup of tea, I'm probably not going to read the other 4 series, obviously. I've heard some of those series where, like, obviously it's 15 books long, like, you gotta put your time in. Kind of same thing I heard about Cassandra Clare's Shadowhunters universe. You know, you gotta put your time in to get to like the really good stuff, you know? And so I'm thinking that maybe this might be a little bit slower to start, but I might still push through some of them. But like, I will definitely finish off the Farseer trilogy because I'm not going to just start it and then not finish it. I'll definitely do that one. And I feel like I actually have like free copies or like really cheap copies I got off Kobo of the first book of the Live Ship Traders, which is the next series. And so if I read that and I'm still not enjoying it, then I'll probably call it quits there. And then finally, I'm going to be entering my Brandon Sanderson era as well. I have Mistborn Part 2, and the Stormlight Archives on here as well, a series that are all not started. I think I am going to start Mistborn this month, I think. Because like I said, I did pull The Assassin's Apprentice, which is the first book in the Farseer trilogy for my April TBR. So I'm thinking I can do a cute little vlog where I start series that are really intimidating to me, and I read that and I read Mistborn to start my Robin Hobb and Brandon Sanderson eras together. And as I'm looking at those 10 series I have in progress, there are 3 that I'm really finishing off this month, so I feel really good about that. And then as I say that, like I'm starting like 7 new series also, but it's okay. So pretty much to finish, I do have to read 74 books if I just counted that up properly. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but truthfully, I do read very fast. I read about 15 to 20 books a month anyway. So I think that's actually really, really doable. And that's exciting. So that means I could actually catch up on most of my series by the end of the year. So I think what we're gonna do now is at the end of almost every single reading vlog I do like for the rest of the year, if it's a book that is in a series, I'm gonna pull up this at the end of the video and then kind of like update this to show where I'm at currently to kind of keep track. If you guys are still watching, thank you so much. If you're in the middle of one of these series yourself or you like love some of these series, let me know. If there are ones I haven't started that you think I really should and get going with, please comment that. Where I actually need some motivation. You know, I actually need like a little push to start something and then I'm like, okay, I'll do it. If you like today's video, please forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel out so much. I'm also on BookTok at Angel's Book Corner and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.